Hey everyone. So, no unboxing or reviews a minute. So, I thought I'd give a little bit of an update on what's been going on in my absence. I have been showing off, obviously, some works on like other people's streams when I've joined them, such as Marcus. Trying to think of anyone else. Off the top of my head, probably not, but I have got this little project which I thought was inspired by community member Celtic West. I seen his work at the model show that's in South Wales, and I thought I'd give my twist on it. I'll show you in a second what it is. So, at the show, Celtic West has made his own version of the Carpet Monster. So, following that inspiration, I thought, seeing as I've got into Warhammer as of late, so my model kits have taken a bit of a back burner a minute. I've been focusing on Warhammer and Dungeons and Lasers. So it's not quite finished yet, this Carpet Monster, but it is near enough finished. I just need to find a suitable base for it and mounting it to the base. So this is my version of a Carpet Monster Warhammer. So as you can see, it's very much a modified Tyranid. I've gone through my own paint scheme, own extras and whatnot. The paint comes from the Scale 75 prismatic effects. So that's why I went for like the Nissan Skyline's Midnight Purple. I know it's not exact, but it's the purple effect I want. Obviously, due to it being custom, I've had to apply some green stuff into it, molded it to how I wanted it to look, given it some glowing features, so to speak. So like with the gun here, giving it like a green effect. But it's 99% complete. There is some paint that's chipped, which I need to redo because otherwise there's going to be some parts that are going to look just grey. But yeah, so this is my version, inspired by Celtic West, a Tyranid or Warhammer Carpet Monster. So yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. It looks suitably angry as a Carpet Monster, like it's hungry for more parts. but yeah. So credit to Celtic West for giving me the inspiration to come up with one of these. So, as I said, model kits have been backburner due to Warhammer and Dungeons and Lasers, but I do have another project. It's the Aethix starter set Spitfire. Now, I've gone through a different approach with this Spitfire kit. I've gone for the sort of, it's going to be more on the lines of, I'm going to try and think of the way of maybe framing this so that it looks like something that's sort of primed, sort of built, but not in the conventional way. So this is going to be more of a display piece. And also, again, this is custom. I've done it as the metallic silver that is in the AK play markers, which, well, it's one of the AK markers I've been using lately. Can't remember if it is the gunmetal I've used or the silver play marker or quick marker, because I've been collecting both of these, and I'm very happy with how they turn out, which I'll show in a minute. But yeah, this Aethix starter kit I've done is built in terms of on the sprue, but it'll be a display piece. And I've gone for the silver look because I thought, well, I'll have it be built where, you know, it's come off fresh off the production line and it hasn't gone to the factory to be painted appropriately just yet. I've done the same with the pilot figure. He's obviously not quite complete. This is still a work in progress. The wheels are still work in progress. You know, this is so far it's going well. Again, pilot was painted using the play markers and that. I'm really enjoying using those things. They make me want to actually paint, because I have been struggling to get stuff done because getting ordinary paint, thinning it, keeping it right has been putting me off. But with these play markers or quick markers, or even the Army Painter ones, it's actually been making me want to paint. But thing is, so as you can see, this is the Army Painter version. I'm happy with Army Painter. Their paints are brilliant and everything, but, and this is a gripe from personal preference, this is. So, Army Painter uses a like felt tip kind of end, which applies well, don't get me wrong. To prime them, when you first use them, it's very much a case of you go insert the tip and just pump to get the paint to flow. And that's all well and good. But this is my gripe. once you've used them on so many things, the tip starts to break down. Now, albeit they're easily to replace because you can pull the tip out, turn around, and you've got another new tip to use. And Army Painter do, make the replacement tips, which is all well and good, but when it comes to recesses and sort of like tricky areas to get into and that, if it's going against something that's quite got a rugged texture to the plastic, these do break down quicker, whereas these AK markers, as you can see, it's a brush tip. Now, the brush tip definitely gets into more of the areas easier. It's like using a brush as you normally would, but in a pen format. So personally, I prefer these plain markers or quick markers, depending on which ones you buy, because you've got the brush tip rather than the felt tip like Army Painter does. Now, that's not me saying anything bad about Army Painter's actual speed paint. They are brilliant, and so is the same principle speed paint that AK use. It's just the marker tip on the Army Painters are break down too easy for such things like Warhammer. So using these on like your conventional models like cars, planes, boats, these will last probably quite a while. But for painting the Warhammer and all that, definitely brush tip, because you're not going to scuff the marker. So on to the next item. So again, like I said, I'm on to my also dungeons and lasers stuff, mostly because Archon Studio does bring out some brilliant things. They're cheaper than Warhammer, but they're just as good quality, if not better. And again, this is being used with the Army Painter and AK pens. Now, obviously, as you can see, he's not complete. He's still a work in progress as well. Because this is the AK Gold. As you can see, he hasn't got the gold that side just yet. But I am enjoying this like emerald that AK use. He looks very effective. I know it's not lore accurate for dungeons and lasers, but I'm happy with him. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. Don't have a clue how you play it. So for me, I'm not bothered if it's lore accurate. I'm just happy with how he's turning out with the look I want. And like I said, this is another item in progress as well that's using the play markers and Army Painter. So this bit is like the copper, that's the silver again, this is the orange brown, and then that's the turquoise blue for the glass. But he's a work in progress as well. So the bottom colour you can see here, this is using the Army Painter brush on primer, which when it goes on a model, Army Painter brush on primer is brilliant. It colours really well, and it's versatile with any colour. So if you use dark colour or light colour, it colours over this brush on primer really well. The only thing it gives different is when you use the Scale 75 prismatic paint, because it's not black or white primer, it does give a slightly different effect to what's on the box when they show the difference between white and black primer. But it still comes out nice because it's sort of in between the two primers it gives. But again, the primer is really good. So as you can see, the animal companions on Dungeons and Lasers comes in this like yellow plastic, but with the brush on primer you can see like how well it's covered. There might be a bit of yellow shown on this one because the brush was starting to run out of primer on it, so but it still covers really well. And like I said, so this one is a complete one from Dungeons and Lasers, and this was just purely using Army Painter speed paint. This was the rim of the base is the only thing that's not Army Painter, and that's the AK Real Color black marker. But otherwise everything is using Army Painter speed paints and that, and their effects range, because there's the dry blood effect as well as a bit there on the base as well to give the effect of blood has dripped onto the floor where this golem has stood. And then the green accent with the runes on the inside is using the Army Painter effects range as well. He's been given a bit of third-degree effect as well, along with dry blood as well, to give him that sort of menacing look, which again, he's not lore accurate, but I'm happy with it. And then the final thing, like I said, because I'm doing Warhammer, I got this kill team that in the process of doing, the Orcs are built, the Krieg Marines are in the process of being built, and then got various terrain which needs painting up because they're all they all came as they are from the sprue. There's no gluing or anything needed with this terrain, so you got, and again, these are using the AK markers, so I'm quite happy with how they turn out. So that's the one piece of terrain. There is, because obviously there's a tabletop, there's these barricades as well, I would think, which again, work in progress because that's the brush on primer. And then This is the Power Blue that AK do in their marker. So the base coat is on. I just got to accent the other bits to obviously show the differentiation. And then more of its terrain pieces to the kill team. Again, all still work in progresses. Very much because of the nature of this one, they've got lots of orc inspired. And then these bits are finished from the kill team, but this is like your movement marker. So what I've done is I've given it a metallic outline, green insert to obviously represent like the orc flesh, and then I went for the turquoise blue for the skulls. So that's one piece done, and then there's another piece then which is part of the rules. I'm not sure which part this is used because I've not yet played Kill Team yet, but again, the AK markers, I'm happy with how it's turned out. But yeah, so lots of different projects on the go, so that's why I've not produced anything yet, but I thought I'd give an update video on what's going on. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you all guys in the next one. Bye for now.